What are you doing here?
I got a tryout.
Are you kidding me? Are you still chasing this dream? You're 34.
This is getting good.
I'm gonna grab a beer. No punches till I get back.
You stay healthy, you're looking at another 30 years of waking up at dawn and working that ranch with your sons.
Sweet Jesus, take me now.
Ashton, Danny, great to meet you.
Great to meet you.
I'm a bit surprised you look very classy. That's good, but it doesn't really fit in the set.
We want to dress smart for you.
Okay.
It's really all for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Ashton, my first question: why did you decide to do another sitcom after 2.5 Men and not take a break and I don't know, do a couple of movies?
Well, it was a couple things. So, one, I love doing sitcoms. In show business, it's probably the best job that you could possibly have. But the reason why I didn't take a break was he had just finished his show, and we've been trying to work together with each other for 10 years since we'd done 70 Show, and trying to find like a time when both of us weren't working, and he was really ready to go, and so he was like,
"Hey man, let's get going here."
Yeah, let's get the show going. And so
I'm sitting around for your waiting.
And really, this is a story that I've always wanted to tell, because it's kind of a story about where I come from and the town in America where I was like born and raised. Even though it takes place in Colorado, it's really inspired by the town that I grew up in and the lifestyle that I grew up in.
You said it takes place in Colorado. What's special? What's special about Colorado?
Well, we just kind of were looking for any of the states that have a lot of cattle ranches. And then we were looking for some place in Middle America, and then we were also looking for some place that wasn't its own sort of region, and it could be sort of anywhere in any of these parts of that part of the country.
It was neither of our idea to do it in Colorado. It was our writer's idea, but I think that the reason why Colorado seemed like the right place is it's a really progressive state in the United States. Like, Colorado was the first state in the United States to legalize marijuana, like one of the very first.
Okay.
And so there's a very progressive culture there, but then there's also a very conservative culture there. And I think that
still has a lot of the Old West in it.
And what we wanted to do was tell a story about those two worlds kind of colliding, with the sons, one of which has gone off and like seen the world and come back, and it's a state that's sort of willing to change. And I think that it's like a great backdrop for the story that we're telling.
When working with Netflix, what free space did you have? What you maybe hadn't with a classic network,
Yeah, I mean, we when we were coming up with the idea for this show, the conversation was this show needs to be on Netflix and no place else. We wanted to be able to change how people see the sitcom, and we wanted to try new things. We wanted to shoot it differently, perform it differently, have everyone talk more like humans actually do, and that freedom came from doing it for Netflix.
Networks sort of treat the rest of the world like stepchildren. We've already shot 4 seasons, and the rest of the world gets season 1, and I think that Netflix is one of the only places that treats everyone equally. It says, hey, here's our new show, and it's open to the world. I think it's 90 countries, 120 countries. 100 billion, 5,000 countries.
5,000 countries on all these different planets
on the same day.
Time.
And I think the other thing that people see with most sitcoms that come from the States is there's a little bit of like oppression and censorship that actually happens on network television. And we wanted to make an uncensored show. We wanted to make a show that spoke the truth and didn't have to worry about speaking the truth because it had to appease advertisers or something else. And so I think that this show, people will see a little bit more authenticity than what they see in most shows.
You wake up one day and find yourself eating quinoa, whatever in the fuck that is. Mister, go along.
Oh, you were a linebacker, Dad.
That day we did it all. Played both ways.
Yeah, that means something different nowadays, Dad.
For me, this show is very American. So it's about football, it's about the ranch. So for me as a German, as a European, I'm not really into that. So why should I watch this sitcom?
So the show's not about football, and it's not about America, and it's not about cattle ranching. It's about a family, and it's about the adult relationships that people have with their parents. It's about the adult relationships between fathers and sons. There's this generation that's now going to school and getting an education in whatever they're getting an education in, and then going out into the workforce and going, well, where's my job that fits my education? And in some ways, they're being forced to move back in with their parents or develop an adult relationship with their parents. And I think that's what this show is really about.
And you're getting comedy out of, a couple of mid-30-year-old adult men who are being treated like they're 10 years old by their father, because they act like they're 10 years old half the time, and that's where you get the comedy out of that.
And I also think that small town America isn't that different than small town anywhere else in the world. And a lot of people that live in big cities and a lot of people that still live in small towns come from small towns, and they understand that dynamic of let me be any place but here.
Talking about parents, and the father is played by Sam Elliott, a great man. How did you get him on board?
We called him, and then we called him again, and we called him again, and we called him again. And we knew that the two of us being most known from that '70s show, and then we went off and did some other 2.5 Men and Men at Work. That in casting of the parents, we wanted to get movie stars. I mean, that was the key, was to get people who are that are dramatic actors from the cinema and bring them on to a show because Netflix subscriber deserves that kind of thing.
Yeah, and this show's comedy, and this show's also drama. It's that, as people sort of take the ride on the show, they're going to laugh, but they're also going to hopefully fall in love with these relationships. And we knew that we needed to have a level of gravitas to that character. And we knew that we needed to have somebody playing that role that we both respected. Because there's a relationship between fathers and sons where it doesn't matter how old you get, you still feel like your dad could kind of kick your ass. And there's a thing about Sam Elliott where,
he can kick our asses.
Yeah, we don't want to tangle with that guy,
Yeah.
So the last question: if I ever wanted to travel to Colorado, is there any slang? I don't know, some words I have to know. So that they know, hey, he knows us.
Well, ranching slang? Do we have any?
Ranching slang.
I don't know if there's like ranching slang, but
Look, you just gotta ask for whiskey.
it depends on what part of Colorado you're in, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got the wrong picture. There's no slang. I just have to ask for whiskey.
Yeah, you just have to ask for whiskey.
Yeah,
You just gotta ask for whiskey, maybe a beer.
That's good. That's good.
As long as you're good with beer and whiskey, you'll be all right.
But I'm not sure about American beer. Okay.
Either way.
Yeah.
Thank you
we don't
very
disagree.
much.
Of course.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thanks.
Thanks, man.